We need to talk about this new show on Netflix because it is a complete disaster, borderline unethical, and equally one of the most compelling shows that I've seen recently. It is the story of how 140,000 girls competed for just 6 spots in a new girl band. The documentary followed these girls for over 18 months as they lived together, trained together, and then competed with each other for the spots in this band. Also in this video, we're going to talk about how this show has set its fandom on fire with toxicity before it's even begun. Let me break it down for you. This is what went wrong with Popstar Academy.
I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not good.
Here is the first big problem that you really need to know about. They lied to the contestants, and after a year of training, surprised them with the fact that this was really a survival show. Think along the lines of American Idol and X Factor, where you are exposed to the public and they have a massive say in who is chosen. There were truthfully moments in this where I was so angry at what I was seeing with the treatment of these girls that I had to pause and take a little break. We'll get into that later. If you're new here, I'm MadMorph and this is my movie club. I'm a full-time content creator, and before I did that, I actually worked in the music industry. I even have a 3-year degree in music business and tech. You can find the rest of what I do, including my gaming channel and my bedtime story podcast, in the description below. The Korean music industry made over $8 billion in 2022, and it has only continued to grow since then. And this documentary is all about the American record label Geffen teaming up with the Korean agency Hybe to form a new girl group, trying to get a slice of all of that success. The girls are auditioning and applying from all over the world. They want it to be like the Olympics of K-pop, and they're whittled down from 140,000 to the 14 or so girls who join the show at the start.
그냥 just 한 씬에서 이 친구가 있으면.
The girls will then spend a year away from home being trained in singing, dancing, and visual performance. Think of it like a sports boot camp to get them ready to debut as idols. Once a month, they put on these showcases for the management team, and they will be marked for their dancing, their vocals, their visual performance, and their star quality. And if it's decided that they aren't doing well enough, the show might send them home.
I'm really sad it's coming to an end.
The girls that the show starts with are a mixed bag. There's the best dancers like Emily, Daniela, Adela, and Megan. There's the top singers in Ilya, Sophia, and Carly. The ones that they consider to have star quality are Lexi, Marquis, and Abby. And the ones that they politely refer to as the underdogs are Brooklyn, Ezrella, and Naisha. So I wanted to test myself, and my off-the-bat picks for who I thought would stand a chance of being there at the end were Sophia, Emily, and Lexi. Those were my top 3 picks from just the beginning and what we had seen so far. Who do you think's going to make it? Who did you like the best? If you've watched the show and are now watching this, put it in a comment below. It was interesting to me that when we were introduced to the dance coach, she says she used to dance for Britney Spears. That is the level that they should be trying to get to.
You've got to be better than you were yesterday. Like, you have to. All those things are kind of like what I'm trying to teach them.
But really, I think we've missed the point of the lesson that is meant to be learned from Britney Spears' career, from how hard she was pushed and how hard she worked from a young age, and where that has ended her up. The same Britney Spears that has never recovered, seemingly, from the breakdowns that she has had and the people around her who pushed her too far. That lesson was definitely not learned by anyone on this show for how they go about things that are about to happen. At the end of the first month, they perform and they're evaluated, and they start to realize the task that is before them with some of these girls who are really untrained.
본인도 그 문제점을 확실히 알고 있어요?
They straight away realize there isn't enough time to train Abby, who is 17, to the standard that they need, and they send her home.
This is really hard for me because it's like, this has been my dream.
I know.
I can only imagine how difficult this is for a 17-year-old girl to get the highs of being selected for the process, to dream of being an idol, and to be sent home 30 days in. And even though she took it really well, I do question the judgment of whoever brought her into the process. You knew that she wasn't ready, surely, from her audition when you brought her in. I don't think this was a surprise to them, and her going home early feels like drama for the cameras. I honestly think she might have been brought into the process as a bit of a sacrificial lamb to show everyone just how serious it is. Shout out to this vocal coach though for his beautiful goodbye with her. This guy just dropped so many awesome little bits of wisdom throughout the show, and yeah, a lot of respect for this guy.
One day I have a daughter. I hope she tries as hard as you do.
When I joined the program, I had a really hard time. Your positivity, like, motivated me to keep going.
It's not no. It's not right now.
The problems for this group start in earnest when we're introduced to Manon, who the casting director finds in Switzerland. She didn't apply for the show, she was recruited and trained from zero dancing experience, hand-picked and DM'd on Instagram for the group. It looks like she's being trained away from the girls one-to-one for a while because she has literally zero formal training before moving in with the rest of the girls.
Oh my god, how's everyone doing? I feel like you girls are like already such a family, you know?
Before we even get into what happens later, you can kind of already tell that this is a mistake, right? The idea of moving girls into an already established kind of living situation and family with 14 other girls 6 months down the line seems like a terrible idea. They seem like a really nice group of girls, but we all know what groups of people are like, and when other people are introduced to that dynamic, someone coming in is looking to take your spot or the spot of your friend. You are not going to be best pleased. In the meantime, there is some more drama to deal with because they discover that the girls have Instagrams that they've been sharing stuff on. The problem is they're not supposed to be revealing anything about the process. It is so hush-hush. They are even under strict orders that their family cannot talk about them being a part of this.
Gaffin has decided to eliminate you from the program. It is based on you sharing an original song.
This breaks an NDA that they've signed, and they are kicked from the program despite their protests.
It's not true.
Naisha, I reviewed the account myself.
Missy, I screenshotted it.
The training continues, and for the first 2/3 of the show, it really just follows this exhausting process. The sweat, the tears, the injuries that you would expect when they're pushed this hard. Emily fractures her foot, Lexi ends up needing hip surgery, and so on. But let's get into the drama. The big plot and the drama that starts to develop is when it's revealed that Manon hasn't been showing up to rehearsals, and some of the girls are getting pretty tired of it.
She doesn't put a lot of effort and she doesn't show up for her teams. And so people are upset that she is the person who's getting so much attention. And now it's just because she's pretty.
And let's be real, if you are working your butt off and being trained to the point of fatigue and injury, you are away from home, away from your family, you're going to be pretty pissed if someone is not pulling their weight.
Noel clearly knows about it because she's literally spoken to me saying that she's upset. Why are you upset that we're frustrated at you? And this just has been going on since the month that she came here.
When your friends or you yourself might go home and they can be there still, it's going to frustrate you. And this is the seed of the saga that continues throughout the show and has caused a massive divide with some of the viewers and the fans of the group. I felt like I was taking crazy pills when I finished the show and went to see what people were saying online to see the absolute backlash that the rest of the girls are getting as people try to protect Manon and stick up for her. They see these other girls as bullies, that they're picking on her for no reason, that they're the mean girls, and have been sending a lot of hate these girls' way. I'm sorry, but if you can't comprehend why this would be frustrating, you are either too young to know what you're talking about, or you didn't watch the show. Or you need to give your head a wobble and understand what it's like to work hard and be let down by others. And can we please bear in mind that this is not just the opinion of the girls, but of Missy, the head of training and development.
Manon does not live at the house. Had a couple of rules with Manon that continued to be broken. Late for curfew at the house or being late to class. So without her being here, what are we to do? Sometimes people of star quality have this arrogance or whatever it is about them. This required humbleness and kindness and caring about others and your teammates. I have not seen that from Manon. I would absolutely not put her in this group.
She knows them better than anyone, and certainly better than any of us as viewers. If after all of that, you are still saying that the other girls are haters, then you have 100% not watched the documentary in full. You need to swallow that toxic viewpoint until you educate yourself.
This keeps happening over and over again with Manon. There's people that just came, but they are here every single rehearsal, putting in extra work.
And let's get one thing straight. I don't think Manon is a bad person. I don't think she deserves any hate for her behavior on this show. But what we've seen and been told by the people is that she was acting with a sense of entitlement and disrespect to her team. You thinking that she's cute and pretty does not absolve her of that. The pretty privilege is unreal with this one, and people's blindness to her poor behavior is sycophantic. The bottom line is nobody should be sending hate anybody's way, but that's the outcome of this all. It's a disaster for the group. Fans are fiercely backing Manon, and to this day, the comment sections of the girls who express their frustrations are filled with hate and pro-Manon comments to try and get a dig at them. We'll come back to this later because it is the most hotly debated point of the show and more happens later that we need to get into. But at this point, what do you think? Let me know in a comment.
After over a year of training, it's time to put all your hard work and skills to the test.
It's time for the most unethical twist in TV history, to reveal to the girls that, surprise, you're not actually just in a training program, but part of a survival show that you will be eliminated from one by one until 6 remain. So while you thought you were signing up for a training program where behind closed doors you would be trained and then judged by some of the best in the industry and make it into the show on your own merit and training, you are actually going to be exposed to the public at large. In fact, we will encourage them to judge you. We will put you against one another in a competition format where social media will play a massive role in who succeeds and whose dreams are ended. Yikes.
Hey, what's up, y'all? And they were like, why would she say that? So stupid.
This is insane to me. I really think questions need to be asked about a show that is recruiting a group of teenage girls, training them for a year, hiding from them that it would be a survival show. Survival shows can be absolutely brutal and damaging. That kind of mass exposure and judgment of today's world is really tough to deal with. It is completely unethical. You would 100% not get away with this on Western mainstream TV anymore. Definitely not in the UK. Gone are the days of the brutality of X Factor and Pop Idol, of the unhinged reality TV days of old Big Brother. Because of the things that have happened on and as a result of these shows in the past, there are now very stringent checks in place for these contestants and for these shows. There is absolutely a duty of care, and for good reason. Many contestants of these shows have had their lives ruined, and in some cases ended, by the way that producers have played fast and loose with them for cheap ratings and some drama.
And you're an adulterer when you had, excuse me, these people, they put me through hell.
Because he taunted me!
And following these heady drama-filled days, new guidelines were drawn up by most shows who had these insane controversies. If you go on Love Island UK now, it's in the contract that you get 8 sessions of therapy, and the show will continue to contact you for a minimum of 14 months after the show ends to check that you're okay. The reason being that they had multiple contestants, and I say this because of the filter here, taking themselves out of the equation. Yes, we all love a bit of drama, but please take care of your contestants' mental health. And that is why this
Have to create that drama, have to create that competition. It's entertainment.
Makes me absolutely livid. These are very young women, and in some cases they are still girls. One of them is literally 14 years old. Not all of them had a social media presence before this, and it's a lot to put on someone who didn't sign up for it. The survival show surprise changes everything for the girls, and here's why everything that happens next is completely unfair. The girls did not agree to this from the start. It was sprung on them after a year of invested time and training. I find it hard to see anyone just walking away from that without giving it a try first. What should have happened is these young women should have been able to decide at the start, and through conversations with their parents and guardians and some serious introspection, decide if it was the right move for them. They were not given that opportunity. As much as I enjoyed watching this show, we objectively have to say that knowing the girls didn't fully consent to the survival show aspect is really a problem. They thought they would be judged by professionals, and now it's by the public. Emily finds herself getting addicted to looking up what people are saying about her, and it's not all good.
I would go on my phone, search up Dream Academy HQ. I was like addicted to looking at what people were saying about me. I feel like consumed by the negativity of like, she's ugly, like why is she even here? Like,
she also finds that all of her posts are getting far less engagement than the other girls.
I don't know, it's just like, it's definitely a lot.
Listen, as much as I hate this word, I am an influencer. I know what it's like when things aren't going well for you in these spheres, and it's not great. It has a massive, massive effect on your mental health. And I'm literally just talking about when videos don't do well, or you're trying your best and it's not going your way. These girls are being picked apart by the public for how they look, how they sing, how they dance. There's things that they can't control that people are absolutely tearing them to shreds for.
I got my first hate comment. It's just her disgusting sense of style. Huge lips. And I'm like, huge lips are part of my face. I can't do anything about that.
And that is why it's a problem. It's one of those things that I don't think you can fully understand and comprehend until you go through something similar. And I can't even fully comprehend because my face isn't on the screen right now. You guys aren't talking about how I look. It's just I make content that is the content. I don't make stuff really about myself. These girls are being picked apart as people.
These are the finalists? Oh my god, this is
Never in a million, trillion, gazillion years thought that I would be on a survival show. It's such a gag.
Well, I think I'm looking forward to cracking up. I hope I can, totally crack up. I haven't, totally cracked up in a long time.
We get to the first elimination, and Adela, who has previously always been in the top 4 with the judges, goes home after not being well received by the public.
Adela and Hanari will not be joining us in Korea.
Okay, been here long enough. And I hope the people that deserve it make it. And there's many of them here still.
The remaining people fly to Korea for mission 2. They meet the Seraphim, they work on group performances, and if your group is the most voted by the public, you'll be safe from the next elimination. It's all very entertaining and very interesting and very compelling, but not entertaining, compelling, and interesting enough for this view-hungry demon. She decides to ramp things up by sitting the girls down and showing them private interviews where they said not only who they want to be in the group with, but who they think will be eliminated next. They do this right before the next elimination to ramp up the tension and the drama. Also gone is Mitra from the TV screen, replaced with an AI voice in this spooky circle to deliver the bad news. Let's make it more dramatic, but it just comes off as entirely dystopian.
Thank you for all your amazing hard work during Mission 2. The meticulous commitment to owning your craft. Keep pushing forward, for your debut is around the corner.
The fact is, this elimination and this attempt at a stunt to ramp up the drama costs the entire group and management dearly. It is the breaking point for some of these girls. It's very emotional, it's distressing, and it's all just for a bit of buzz on your little internet show. It's like they forgot that they're actually trying to end this thing with a cohesive group, a girl band that like each other and can be together for a long period of time.
It feels like we've reached a breaking point. The girls are just done.
It kind of makes me like sick a little bit.
Ilya goes home. She seems pretty affected by the exposed confessionals and that everyone thought she would be the one to go home next. Brooklyn has to sit there and deal with the fact that not a single girl who she spent the last year with wants her in the group.
You vote me out.
You have to listen to me.
No, I'm listening to you.
The worst thing to come out of all of this is that you can see that they've completely broken Lexi. The girl is done, completely done, while she collects her safety from elimination and her invitation to the next round. You can see that this no longer really means what it did to her.
And that was something I really didn't like personally for me. And it actually, that whole situation just broke my heart.
We needed a more compelling storyline. I understood why many of the girls were hurt.
Oh, now this is dirty.
Obviously, some people didn't like it, but a lot of people loved it. It was one of our highest rating view counts.
It just didn't align with my values, and that was a hard moment for me.
We missed over 10 days of rehearsal. It's really clear to us that you don't want to be here anymore. So we have to let you go.
No, I agree.
It's clear what's been going on. I think it's good for the morale of the team. Glad that we all mutually think it's the right thing.
To me, Lexi leaving is a huge price for them to pay for this stunt, and I think if they knew this was a consequence, they wouldn't have done it. She was Chairman Bang's favourite, and a shoo-in for the final group most likely, popular with management and fans. This is admitted by Mitra herself. What annoys me even more is Mitra sitting here and saying, oh, it's because you've missed rehearsals, it's affecting the girls. We just saw the girls talking about how for literally a year, Manon has caused them issues by not showing up to rehearsals.
I wish that for every girl, there was a person, but instead it's robot boys. Get your dreams just crushed by a TV screen. I do think this is the best decision for me, my well-being.
Girl is done, does not care, says yes, I agree. You could just see how frustrated and annoyed Mitra is. The passive aggressiveness is leaking out of her towards Lexi. She was able to see through their dirty little stunt and is refusing to play any further part of this, and that drives her crazy.
It's entertainment.
People like Mitra can't really see it for what it is, and I know because I worked with a lot of people just like them. I think the reason that this all really rubbed me the wrong way is because I've had similar experiences when I worked in music. It's one of those things that you dream of. You think it's going to be all about the music and the art and you can't wait to get there. And when you do, you have to deal with all the devils and the demons. Maybe it's different in the indie label scene, but I was working at a pretty high level similar to this. We're talking songs for Britney Spears type level, meetings at Simon Cowell's company, the people behind Britain's Got Talent type level. Being a part of the music industry was all I wanted from 12 years old. And when I got there, I found that I hated it. I left and started my own company, but that's another story. Point being, Mitra reminds me of every soulless exec that I've ever dealt with. They don't care about the art and they don't care about the people. They care about the bottom line. They care about what's going to sell and what's going to get butts in seats. I'm not a fan. All of our creative industries, music, movies, gaming, they would all be better off without people like this at the wheel.
Do not become somebody else to be the person that you've always dreamed about becoming. If the cost of becoming famous is to become somebody that you are not, then that cost is way too high. And that's why I'm super proud of Lex.
I don't believe in putting people against each other to form a group.
I feel like yesterday was just really screwed up. Like, I personally was told this was not gonna be seen, and I felt so, like, betrayed.
I'm 18. Oh, it's about time to face reality.
It's nice to see you, Manon. It's been a minute.
Back to the Manon issue as it continues for the girls and has done through their stay. Now that she's popular online and is standing a good chance of getting into the group, she starts showing up for rehearsals again, and she wants to clear the air with the girls.
I'm a little frustrated. I know I've been missing. Other girls also have been missing. It's only being taken out on me.
A lot of our frustration, it's just being present, discipline, and a lot of hard work and like paying attention and doing your part.
But I have been taking notes when I was sitting out.
But I think you can do it.
That was really sweet of you.
I don't really think the girls bought it. It stunk of damage control, like someone from the team was probably in her ear saying, "You should probably do this and make nice. You're probably going to get into this group." Fair play to her for finally taking some accountability. We all have to grow up and change, and they're all still very young, even though she is older than most in this competition. We will see if it sticks. Yes, kindness and care and being helpful is something that can be worked on, but people don't change overnight. It's like either in you or it's not. It's almost time to find out who's going to be at the live show and who makes the final group. So Mission 3 has 3 groups, with one group singing Demi Lovato's Confident, one singing Spice Girls' Wannabe, and the final team doing Buttons by the Pussycat Dolls. We need to talk about Emily's performance in Wannabe because it is absolutely amazing. She stepped in to replace Lexi in the main role and absolutely killed it. On Buttons, Sophia is sick and has to power through. That group's performance goes a little bit viral thanks to it being an absolute tune and some fun choreography. I think this dictates the future of the group.
It's like I'm being seducted.
The fans vote on who they want in, but the final selection seems heavily influenced by the judges, with fans shocked at who goes home.
And Celeste's really high up.
Dream Academy, what the heck are y'all doing?
Nayoung, Celeste and Ua go home. Both Nayoung and Celeste were really high up in the fan vote, but Nayoung said she might want to go solo someday, so they took this opportunity to kick her out.
I know I'll be okay.
The girls prepare for their final live show. The final rehearsal is quite moving as they all start crying, realizing that it's the end of a 2-year road. Whether you're going to be in the group or not, this is the last time you'll do this together. It's got those last day of school vibes and it's very cute.
Don't let this happen tomorrow.
The girls do a live streamed performance for the final show with 3 original songs, and the judges pick their favorites, kind of like an American Idol or an X Factor. Honestly, at this point, all of them are fantastic performers. They've trained for nearly 2 years, and you could make a great group with any 6 of them. I would like to point out that Ezrella has gone from underdog to total dark horse and is so likable. Samara's voice at the finale sounds absolutely amazing. Lara has the absolute X factor and star quality, and Sophia just seems to be great at everything and a model professional backstage. So it's time to find out who's in the group. If you got any last predictions, now is the time to make them, because the final group is Sophia, Lara, Yunche, Megan, Daniela, and the final spot goes to
Manon!
With Emily and the other girls missing out, it's a bitter pill to take. Everyone's amazingly talented, but I think there's a reason for this. The final group look great together, and I think we have to talk about the success and response to Buttons having a massive influence on this lineup. I think that convinced management to go in a slightly older and potentially more sensual direction. Emily and Ezrella are too cutesy and a bit short, despite Ezrella being in her 20s. They both have a very young vibe and just wouldn't fit in with these other girls. I think this group is being built around Sophia and around a different vibe, and you can just see how well they match together. Despite Yunche being 16, Megan is really young, they still just all have this kind of vibe about them. But despite that, I was absolutely gutted. I was so rooting for Emily to make it in, and I'm sad that she didn't, but I know she's going to be great, whatever she decides to do. Seeing Adela being mother to Emily backstage is really cute. I don't know how anyone is sending hate this woman's way. All the way through the show, the girls have said she's amazing, the teachers have said she's great, and she's there for the other girls. Like, leave her alone, man. Emily is amazing, talented, and just wasn't a good fit for this group, but she can probably go do her own thing. She's killing it as a TikTok dancer right now. But what do you think? Who did you want in the group? Who do you like best? Leave a comment below. And while that is the end of Popstar Academy and the Dream Academy, they have now become KATSEYE, and the real journey is just beginning for them. Funnily enough, I listen to a K-pop playlist on Spotify when I walk, and I've had a song popping up a lot that I was starting to really love, and I looked in my pocket at who it was actually by, and it was by KATSEYE before I even knew of this show or of them. So I think they're off to a pretty good start. It was Touch, if anyone's interested. The problem is the discourse that has followed this documentary and a portion of the fandom being totally toxic. Lara, Sophia, and Megan have continued to get hate comments for calling out Manon's work ethic. I'm not going to tread over that same ground, but people really need to get it together, man. Like, what I see in the comments of K-pop fandoms is absolutely foul. It's a shame because the music is beautiful and amazing and feel good, and I'm a fan of it myself, but that fandom, man, they're crazy. Personally, I wish all the girls the best, whether they made it or not, and I hope people can let the dramas of the documentary go and get behind all of them for the future, whether they are in KATSEYE or not. And if you want to get behind me, you can like and subscribe or click one of these videos on the screen for more. Check out my podcast where I read books to help you sleep, or my gaming channel where I play games. All the links that you need are in the description below. Until next time, to all of them, to all of you, and to everyone except for Mitra, thank you and good night.